Hi, my name is Owen Carroll, and this was my experience as a learner taking WRIT 1110 this fall at BGSU. Taking WRIT 1110 this fall was super beneficial for me. We learned a lot in the class, we had fun doing informal and formal projects, always had some sort of peer collaboration included each week, and everything that I learned in WRIT 1110 applied to 3 of my other courses that I took this year at BGSU. The class was very manageable, but consistently challenged me week by week with different informal or formal writing assignments, discussions, and other little aspects of work. I learned a ton from this class, and I'm very excited to apply everything that I've learned all throughout my future with all types of writing. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I came into WRIT 1110 expecting the bare minimum. We were taking the class online, so the aspects of collaboration weren't going to be as prominent, and I expected the class to be very, very formal in regards to the writing assignments. Now, the only reason I had that attitude is because I had just finished up a writing course online around last May in high school. Now, obviously, high school and college English are very different, but online English left me feeling like this after the last day. Last day of senior year. What have I learned since March? My expectations were completely wrong. WRIT 1110 was one of the most balanced courses I have ever had in terms of informal and formal work. And along with that, the aspect of collaboration was not entirely gone. Collaboration was very important to me in my previous English classes, and I loved working with other students. And while yes, we would not be having any moments like this, we could still collaborate effectively via either discussions or via peer review. And in fact, peer review has been very important for me for the entirety of this year, but especially for my first assignment. That first project was the rhetorical analysis of the UWP placement exam, which was a rhetorical analysis of the placement exam that placed us into either WRIT 1110 or WRIT 1120 for this fall at BGSU. Now, this assignment honestly was not too difficult. It wasn't even graded, and I had plenty of time to do it. But rhetoric was something that I was not super comfortable with at the time of writing this exam. I found myself struggling to interpret the instructions, and, well, it did not go too well. This was expressed in my peer review. I received some peer review from some other people, and I made sure they knew I was going to make changes to my essay. The peer review is totally necessary and really helped me to improve my writing. The review that those students left on my paper really played a pivotal role in understanding rhetoric. It was then that I sort of got the proper introduction to rhetoric and started to really understand it. Peer review was something that I had done previously in high school, but that I was not really proficient with. The constant amounts of peer review that we did in WRIT 1110 throughout the fall really helped me to improve as a reviewer and as a reviewee. A new topic was being taught to all of us by Dr. Jordan, and she reinforced her teachings with 2 very special and crucial documents that we used throughout the entire year. The first document was About Rhetoric by Jim Nugent, which was especially about the rhetorical triangle, which included purpose, rhetor, and audience, and their relationship within each aspect of writing. And along with that came context and the big 3. The big 3 is not Chris Bosh, LeBron James, and D. Wade, unfortunately. I mean, it might have for a while back in the early 2010s, but the real big 3 is pathos, ethos, and logos, which are the 3 most common rhetorical devices found in writing. Pathos is when authors attempt to make an emotional connection with their topic of choice to the audience, hoping to sort of provoke an emotional reaction or connection with whatever it is they're sharing. Ethos is when authors use their credibility to sort of emphasize and reinforce the point that they're trying to make. If they're more credible on the topic, then the audience might be more accepting to what it is the author is trying to persuade them to believe. And then finally, Logos is when authors use logic to sort of influence or connect with the audience in regard to their topic. Throughout the year, I found myself looking to Nugent and Grant Davies articles just for inspiration or just for help. The rhetorical devices that they talk about in both of their articles were commonly used throughout WRIT 1110 and were even used by myself in my own writing. So I made sure to include what I had learned from the articles by Nugent and Grant Davy within each of my writing pieces, but it was also very common for me to directly quote or reference one of the articles when making a claim in my essay. One essay where I referenced both Grant Davy and Nugent was the comparison between non-academic writing and academic writing situations. For this project, I chose to use the social media app and outlet Instagram. And here are the two instances where I used Grant Davy and Nugent in my articles to sort of reference and define two different rhetorical elements. Now, when quoting or referencing an article like that, it is very common for colleges to require either an MLA or an APA format. Thankfully, Dr. Jordan uploaded some videos guiding myself and other students through the MLA and APA processes for both of these documents.
Make it so it has a hanging indent, but stay tuned for that. So this should be what it looks like for your, for the Nugent piece. Okay, hopefully this is helping.
That was super helpful.
And it really was helpful. After 4 or 5 years of using EasyBib until my free trial's up, and other makeshift websites for citations, it wasn't until taking WRIT 1110 with Dr. Jordan that I truly realized how to cite MLA.
So over the course of this fall, I've really learned a lot. I learned how to properly cite MLA. I learned about all the different rhetorical devices and how to implement them into my writing, along with how to find them in other people's writings. I also learned about how to peer review someone else's paper and how to work collaboratively with my other peers in an online setting. Now, what I think makes WRIT 1110 so awesome is the fact that all of those skills that I mentioned earlier and all of the skills and characteristics that I picked up as a writer over the course of WRIT 1110 are going to be relevant and consistently implemented throughout the rest of my academic and professional career. And with that being said, WRIT 1110 was an amazing course. It taught me a lot, and everything that I learned in the course I plan on taking with me as I go through the next 4 years of college and however many years of my career.